there is a slight possibility of material that may be off-key to some viewers. Beast Brothers awards this video with an S for suggestive.
Ah, that hot chocolate definitely hit the spot for me. Now, that gives me time to think about what I'm going to review next. I certainly feel like making another British blogger review. What to do? What to do? I've done The Cube, Mr. Bean, The Crystal Maze, and more recently, Nightmare. Maybe I'm doing too many game shows, but that's because it's what I have a vivid interest in. I've got a couple of ideas as to what I can review. The Jeremy Kyle show could be added to the list. Maybe... Hang on, I've got it! Good day to you all, I'm Mark Mitchell, and welcome to another edition of the British Blogger. And here I am in my house at last, not because I'm unwilling to be at the cafe like some of the other Beast Brothers, but because I feel more comfortable now presenting from my own home. Today I'd like to review yet another British game show. I know I've already done 3 of them in the 4 episodes that I've done so far, but it is something that I do show great interest in. Maybe I should rename this show British Game Show Blogger. Yes, okay, that was a bad thought. But never mind, let's get straight on with the subject at hand, Gladiators. Gladiators was produced by the ITV region London Weekend Television, or LWT for short. It ran from 1992 to New Year's Day of the Millennium, and was presented by Ulrika Johnson and John Fashanu. The whole idea of the show was that regular members of the British public, albeit super fit ones, were pitted to their physical limit in a series of grueling tests. But they didn't have to fight these all against each other. They had to do it against various super fit athletes, known as the Gladiators. Over the course of the show's run, there were many different gladiators, some for the men, some for the women. Among some of these gladiators in the UK edition were Saracen, Shadow, Lightning, Jet, Hunter and Wolf. But there are many more where they came from, of course, although I won't go into the full details of each and every one, just so that I won't bore you all to death, you understand. Gladiators changed the way we watch television sport forever. It was filmed on a scale that nobody had ever gone to before. The show was filmed at the National Indoor Arena in Birmingham, which is currently known as the Barclaycard Arena. It catered for the best part of 16,000 people watching live. As with all sporting spectacles like this, they needed a referee as well. Helping to keep the gladiators in check was a former school teacher. His name? John Anderson. Over his advancing years, John also coached numerous athletes at several Summer Olympic Games. Now aged in his mid-80s, John still coaches some of our recognised Olympic athletes. But over the years that he did Gladiators, he was famed for his cry of "Gladiators! Relay!" in order to prepare the contenders and gladiators for the ordeals. Ordeals in the show included Hang Tough, Powerball, Pyramid, Atmospheres, Duel, and The Wall. Some of them were played individually against gladiators, and others were played head-to-head. But they never mixed men and women's divisions, for obvious reasons. On occasion, some events were played only with the one gender, while the other gender played a different event. Typically, the contenders played 5 events each week. In some cases, contenders could score 5 points for meeting one goal and 10 for meeting another, while in other cases, contenders scored a number of points in many ways, such as firing weapons in danger zone or picking balls off of a cylinder in swing shot. After 5 or 6 events were played, the gladiators went back to their training room, and the contenders had to face each other in the Eliminator, which was famed for its strength-draining Travelator. The Travelator was a 45-degree slanted conveyor belt running downwards, which the contenders had to run up. In the Eliminator, the points that the contenders score become very important. Whoever has the most points in the Eliminator gets a head start over the other. Each point that the leader has over the other gets them half a second head start. Whoever made it to the end of the course first won that week and knocked the other contender out of the tournament. The best performing male and female contender each series won a grand prize. It could have been money, a new car, or a holiday. Sometimes the runner-up in the final also won a smaller prize. In my opinion, Gladiators was a show that everybody in the family could enjoy on a Saturday night, and it was certainly worth the watch. The thrill of cheering for your favourite gladiators and wanting your contender to do well and go for the win. It was just a fantastic form of primetime entertainment. As expected, a lot of people would have their favourite and least favourite gladiators. The Wolfman himself was one of my favourite gladiators, along with Saracen. And if I had to choose a least favourite gladiator, it would have to be Vulcan from Series 7. He was originally an Australian gladiator, who was brought in to rival the Wolfman. The Wolfman was a bad boy during the 8 years of the show's run, which made him popular among many Gladiators fans, I'm sure. But that question being, what made him want to become the way that he was? Why don't we ask him?
Why do you keep picking on me every show?
Wolf, can we have a chat with you?
I was the oldest one coming in at 40 at the show. I just wanted to do something to be separate from them because they were so, they were so great. So I said to the producers, I said, can I be bad? We did it for one show and it kind of took off and it really went great, I thought, oh, that's it,
Oh, he's ripping it down. Buster's brother Gary in a very uncomfortable position.
It was fun, but it was like a pantomime baddie. It wasn't bad, it was fun baddie.
You were scared. That's what we felt. You were scared.
Well, there you have it. Now the big question is, did you enjoy Gladiators? And did you have favourite and least favourite gladiators, whether they be the British ones or any other region? I'd love you to leave your comments below. And after all that, it's time for me to log off for now. I've been Mark Mitchell, and we'll see you next time for another edition of the British Blogger. Until then, have a good day.
Stuff you're made of. Can you see the face?